Yo, what's up guys? Chase the Bro here, and welcome to the first discussion video I've had on this channel in quite some time. We do have Demon's Souls being released in 2 weeks. We did get a brand new gameplay trailer for Demon's Souls, which is what you're seeing right behind me talking currently. And we also have confirmed changes to the game from the creative director Gavin Moore himself. I'm only going to be covering what I felt was the most interesting of the changes for the game. If you guys would like to read the article of the interviews for yourself, I have them linked directly below in the descriptions. So the first thing that I want to address was the camera. So in the first Demon's Souls trailer, you're going to notice that it's shown at a much different FOV than any of the previous Soul games. And they confirm that you're going to have the option to use the classic camera or stick with their more modern camera. And I personally am probably going to go with the classic camera. I like having more FOV in my games. It just makes gameplay a little bit easier and I get a little bit less lost. You get less surprises. I don't really favor the more modern camera that a lot of games are going towards, where it kind of cuts off half of their calf. And you miss the lower side of their feet. It's more zoomed in. It's not my favorite, and it was a really good decision for them to keep in the classic camera, in my opinion. The next thing that they mentioned that I felt was a pretty big game changer was that they're not changing any of the core gameplay mechanics. So they're not changing the walks, the runs, any of the attacks, but they wanted to improve upon the quality of them. So what they've done is they created unique animations to each weapon type. So when you pick up a spear or a polearm or any weapon type, they all have different attacks, but the speed is the same as the original, so it doesn't change the gameplay according to what they've said. So I'm not sure if each weapon is going to have different attack animations or if it's just going to be slightly changed and altered with effects. I guess we'll have to see. And speaking of gameplay, that rolls on to my next question, was the omnidirectional rolling. So in all the trailers that I've seen so far, I haven't been able to piece together whether it still has the 4-directional rolling that Dark Souls 1 and Demon's Souls have. But it's been confirmed in the article of the interview, it's going to have omnidirectional rolling. That's like one of the huge key points that I wanted out of this game. I'm glad they did that. I just got kind of scared when I was watching the interview and they were talking about the gameplay changes and the core gameplay not being changed at all. The walking, the running, or any of the attacks. So them stating that really had me freaked out. It was cool to see that they changed that. They said the game came out 11 years ago, which is a long time in gaming history, and a lot has changed. So they made the quality of life improvements the game needed. So the other mechanic that I was most interested in was the healing. I was wondering if they were going to switch over to the Estus system or stick to the grass system that they had in the original Demon's Souls. For those of you who don't know, the healing in Demon's Souls was a consumable that you could farm, kind of the same way that Bloodborne has blood vials. And you could hold a pretty excess amount of grass in Demon's Souls. So I was wondering if they were going to cap it or if they'd move over to Estus. And what they've said was one change that will affect players, encumbrance, aka how much stuff their character can carry. Is how much healing grass they can hold. In the original Demon's Souls, players could carry hundreds of healing grasses with them and suffer no real penalties. In the remake, players will have a more limited supply and more powerful grasses, like the full moon grass, pretty sure that's the one that almost full heals you, will weigh more than less effective grasses. So they're gonna affect your inventory weight load. Now, I find that to be a really interesting way to balance healing, and I really wonder if the weapon inventory and the item inventory weight are different, or if it's just all your inventory. Because if it's all your inventory, then invaders, let's say, we can optimize our builds to have 1 or 2 main weapons and just stack heals, whereas people that are playing through the game are going to be collecting items on their playthrough, and maybe even the phantoms. People who don't optimize that are going to have less heals, more weapon variety. Same with, you could invade with tons of weapons for weapon variety and have less heals. I wonder how that's going to work. I'm intrigued to see that, actually, to be honest. And speaking of the online, mentioning PvP and invasions, they've actually confirmed that it's going to be 3 invaders versus yourself and 2 phantoms now. So they made it 6-player online, the same as Dark Souls 3. But instead, there's always 3 invader slots, and there's only 2 phantom slots for the host. I wonder if that's to balance the fact that hosts have full health, whereas all phantoms have a 50% health cut in the original Demon's Souls anyway, and I'm pretty sure they're sticking true to that for the remake. So I wonder if that was a reason to balance the PvP in some way, or their attempt to. Again, I think that's going to be pretty interesting. It's always like a 3v3 fight for invasions. A few other key points that I wanted to talk about that everybody seemed to be intrigued by from the first trailer was the 6th Arkstone. They said they discussed creating the world, but they backed off. So currently there's no 6th Arkstone. I personally kind of think they might do that as a DLC. This game is getting a lot of hype for it. It's very popular. I think it would be a great idea for them to do that, to have an extra world and to build upon, but as of right now, they said that it's not going to be utilized. They also have a fractured mode, which is a mirrored mode in the game added, which is essentially the map of Demon's Souls but flipped as a mirror. So every encounter is going to apparently throw you off guard is what they were going for, to mix it up for those of the people that have already played the original. They want to try doing it again in their mirrored mode, essentially. I think that's something different. I've never seen that in a game. So that'll be interesting to try. I'm actually really happy with all the things they've been adding so far, and I'm actually going to go to the article with you guys here in the video where we can look over everything that they've been stating. Those were just the talking points that I wanted to start off with you guys while you watch the trailer. So let me just pull up the article here. So this is actually one of the 2 articles that I have for you guys that confirms a lot of the things that I stated in the video. There's also a video of the interview with Gavin Moore, which is where I got most of my information. I'm lazy and I like to watch it. But I did read over this, and honestly, there's not a lot of information other than what I've already expunged. They talk about why they chose Demon Souls, if you want to read that. FromSoft's involvement, which was really nothing, just their blessing. The haptic system of the PS5 controller and how you can kind of feel the weight of, let's say, a bow as you're drawing it with R2 fighting back at you, like resistance wise. They talk about where's the omnidirectional rolling. They mentioned that in this, which is the most important. Yes. Yeah, right there. Okay, so this is where it confirmed it, because I was watching the video again of the interview, and it doesn't say it in the video, but it has it quoted here. So we actually have omnidirectional roll. So you can roll in 8 different directions. And then it talks about how the game was made 8 years ago. So that was a quality of life change. Pretty awesome. That wouldn't make a big difference to the gameplay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. They said they wanted to stay close to the core gameplay or not change it at all. And that wouldn't really. For instance, the camera in the original Demon Souls got stuck on the collision and went through a wall or sort of things. And the modern game, in a modern game, people don't expect that. So we changed the camera. That's where they talk about it. But you can also revert to the classic camera, which is what I'm going to do, obviously. And that's just my preference, you know. They changed the VO audio. Okay, so that's about the audio balancing, basically. Anything else interesting that I may have missed? You guys can read over this one for yourself as well. That's why I'm linking them. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything important here. How much of the actual AI stuff are you tweaking? They said they left the actual logic and AI alone. They don't touch that. So we don't want to go in there and dive into all that. I think that's the way that was captured and the way the player played the game. You know the way the Flame Licker reacts. If you hit him more, he gets more aggressive and more violent and lights up. So you can see that in the trailer, but that's a super challenging boss battle as well. It really is. Okay, so they said they didn't change the actual AI. So yes, well, the old monk fight. Yeah, I heard about that actually. It's kind of like the Spears of the Church fight, where a player gets summoned in as a boss. That's the same. Are you going to have the World Tendency stuff and the events still? Yes, World Tendency is the same. They adjusted the UI to make it a little bit easier for you to tell which state of the World Tendency you're in. Okay, yeah. Is the healing system the same? Yes, with the grass, but they confirmed that it adds, or there's weight to the grass. I'll show you that in the other article. And apparently you can change your stats midway through instead of committing to a certain build all the way through. I didn't know that in the original Demon Souls you couldn't reallocate. Someone told me that. So what we have done is allow you to, okay, wait, this might take a bit, okay. What we've done is we've updated the character creator and we've given thousands upon thousands of new permutations where you can create and you can play. And then once you've chosen your character, you can do is after you've paid a number of souls for it in the Nexus, you can actually store your character and then go in and change your character in the Nexus. Okay, so there's a way to reallocate and change your character in the Nexus. It's kind of the same way that Dark Souls 3 has it, I bet. But just with souls instead of an item that you have to give. So that's kind of better, to be honest. And then it talks about Fracture Mode, which is essentially a reverse map. It's like a mirror map. The Reaper Scythe. Ah, yes, the pre-order scythe. That's right. People are wondering if it's going to be OP or not. People think it might be like an easy option. Is there an easy option? And what's the impact of the Reaper Scythe? There is no easy option in Demon Souls. It's true to the original in that it's a fair challenge based on you learning the enemy patterns. Okay. So they don't plan to make it OP, at least, is what they're saying. You learning the environment and taking on the risk reward of the combat system. So there's no easy option. We've added new content to the game, though. And I will say that everything that was in the original PlayStation 3 version is in the standard edition. So you're not missing out on anything. Okay. So, oh, wait. That's saying that everything that's in the OG edition is in the game. And there's obviously a ton of new content to find as well in the game. The Reaper Scythe is a pre-order incentive. So if you want it, then please pre-order the game and you'll get that weapon. It's a two-handed polearm weapon with a super sharp blade. That kind of seems like it's only in the pre-order, to be honest. I kind of assumed that it might be in the base game, but him saying that, I don't know. Yeah. Are you putting the content in the 6 Arcstone, or is that gone? No, they already said that there isn't the 6 Arcstone, but there's new content from what he said right there. So I guess that's something I missed when I skewed over that earlier. The other one, the article is this one. And in this article, it was the one that talked about the balancing changes to the grass. So this is where I was talking about the encumbrance and how their characters can carry certain amounts of weight. And that's where it confirms the healing grass weight change. So I think that was the most important part of this. Other than that, this article is basically similar to the other one. I don't think I missed anything. It just talks about how they're staying true to the game. Yeah, I expunged all the main key points from these 2 articles. But if you guys do want to read everything for yourself, I'd say go for it. Again, watch the trailer if you'd like without me talking over it on the PlayStation channel. But this confirms most things. And the omnidirectional rolling in the grass were my main points. The PvP is probably going to be pretty good. We will see when it comes out. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little bit of this talking for you guys. For those of you that don't keep up to date on, updates for Demon's Souls and the PS5 and stuff. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good time, boys. It was a good time. Yeah. Thanks for tuning into this. And if there's more updates before the game comes out, I'll probably do another one. But that's all for now.